I assume you've been doing some research on where you might want to live abroad. If Mexico was on your radar, then you've come to the right place. Hi, I'm Kevin, and welcome to my channel, Melanin Man Travels. My goal is to educate and motivate single black men and gay black men on how and why living a life abroad is not only possible, but also healing and life-changing. In this video, I will share with you what it cost me to live in Guadalajara, Mexico. Guadalajara is a large, beautiful town located in southwest Mexico. It is about a 4-hour drive to the coastal town of Puerto Vallarta and a 7-hour drive to the capital of Mexico, Mexico City. From this location, there are many other Mexican cities that are fairly easy to get to by car, bus, or plane, such as Querétaro, San Miguel de Allende, Puebla, Mazatlan, Oaxaca, and Puerto Escondido. Living abroad, in Guadalajara specifically, has allowed me to no longer have certain expenses, which makes life easier to live here economically. In the US and most of the West, there is a culture of acquisition. More is better. More is a sign of success. I disagree with these statements. Having more and bigger things cost more money. And if you're not wealthy, the return on investment is very, very low. In Las Vegas, I have a 3-bedroom, 3-bath townhouse that I do enjoy. I use the master bedroom and the attached bathroom upstairs and the living room and cooking areas downstairs. There's also a powder room downstairs, only if I don't want to walk back up the stairs. However, the 2 other bedrooms and the bathroom upstairs are rarely used. In broad terms, I'm using about 2/3 of a $300,000 house. Theoretically, that extra $100,000 could be invested elsewhere. Also, a 3-bedroom house requires a lot more furniture and higher maintenance costs and insurance costs as well than a similar smaller home. The lifestyle that I live in Guadalajara and many places around the world only require things that are necessities and not a lot of those excesses. You know, those just in case items. You know, just in case my friends and family come for a visit. Just in case I decide to throw a big party and entertain. These just in case scenarios are too far and in between, and they cost money in having the extra space and the possessions in my home that aren't even being used most of the time. I am originally from Los Angeles, and there I have owned homes as well as rented. My last mortgage payment on a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo was $2,200, and that was 4 years ago. My last rent payment on an apartment was $1,600, and that was 3 years ago. LA is a pretty expensive place to live. I gave you that information in comparison to how I live my life here in Mexico. In Guadalajara, I've been living in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment with a balcony. It's in a secure building with a doorman, a small gym, a small pool, and a beautiful rooftop terrace. These are great amenities to have, but other than my balcony, I rarely use them. My 2nd bedroom is completely unused, and again, the downstairs bathroom is just a mere convenience, not a necessity. I've decided to move into a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment when my lease is up this summer. As long as I have some outdoor space, I know that I will be completely comfortable. I chose to live in a very walkable area so that I no longer needed a car. I was able to sell my car before I left the States and invest that money. No more car maintenance or insurance expenses for me. I'm able to walk most places or ride a bike. Guadalajara has a great citywide bike program that costs about $27 a year, and that allows me to grab a bike and ride in 30-minute increments. If I need to go someplace relatively far, or maybe to dinner at night, I can grab an Uber, which are very, very cheap here. The average Uber cost is between $3 and $5 a ride. So, here's the question that you want answered. What does it cost me to actually live in Guadalajara? Well, here's the breakdown. I live in a neighborhood called Colonia Americana. Time Out magazine voted this neighborhood one of the top 10 coolest neighborhoods in the entire world. Given the name of the neighborhood, it has a good mix of local Mexicans and American and Canadian immigrants, or expats as we like to call ourselves. Such a neighborhood does come at a premium. It is not the most expensive area to live in within Guadalajara, but it definitely is above average cost. What you won't hear in mainstream media is that Mexico is a very wealthy country, and Guadalajara has very wealthy citizens as well. They live in neighborhoods and drive vehicles that I've never been able to afford. These neighborhoods are inhabited by the city's high-level executives and business owners, as well as citizens with what you call old money. My fixed-ish monthly expenses include rent, utilities, food, which is groceries, eating out, coffee, and snacks, transportation costs, health insurance, and telecommunications costs. My transportation costs vary based on my need, and my rent varies based on the current monetary exchange rate. My true variable costs are air transportation to visit the US and entertainment. My rent is 23,000 pesos. That rate includes my Wi-Fi. Based on the current exchange rate of 17 pesos to $1 US, my average monthly rent in US dollars is $1,365 per month. For comparison, the average rent in Las Vegas is $1,600 a month, and the average rent in Los Angeles is $2,700 a month. My utility costs average about $50 a month, and that includes gas, water, and electricity. My food cost averages about $550 per month, again in US dollars. This includes eating out and groceries and just miscellaneous stuff. The majority of this expense is eating out. I might cook maybe once a week. My transportation costs do not include car cost. That's a huge savings. I walk most places, which is free. The city bike costs an average of $2 a month. If I need to catch a bus or a train somewhere, that averages about $2 a month. And my average Uber costs are about $60 a month. My health insurance is covered through my employer, and I pay about $122 per month. Personally, I am able to be reimbursed for any medical expenses that I have outside of the US. However, doctor visits here in Guadalajara are relatively inexpensive compared to the US. My telecommunication expenses include my VPN, which is a virtual private network, and that costs $60 a year or averages $5 a month. This protects me against malware and viruses on all of my devices, as well as it guards against others being able to identify where my internet connection is coming from. This is an essential safety measure when traveling and living abroad. My cell phone comes with 15 gigs of Wi-Fi data, which is available for me to use here in Mexico. And for now, I have retained my US phone number. I have T-Mobile, and my plan includes Apple TV and Netflix. I pay $96.50 a month. I also have an additional streaming service, which is Hulu, for about $8 a month. A VPN is required to use streaming services outside of the US. So, my grand total of fixed-ish cost total $2,260 per month. An expense that has been drastically reduced for me is clothing. The weather here in Guadalajara is very temperate. It's very close to the weather in Los Angeles, except for it's raining there today and not here. Anyway, for example, today is about 86 degrees Fahrenheit on the high, and this evening it'll probably get down to maybe 56 degrees. So, today is a t-shirt and shorts day. Life is very simple and easy here. There's really no need for me to have a lot of clothes anymore. When I lived in the States, there seemed to be a need for a hot new outfit for every occasion. That is just not the culture here. Now don't get me wrong, when I step outside, I look like I'm outside. But I don't think I've spent more than $200 on new clothes in the last 8 or 9 months. And some of that was because I didn't pack enough hoodies for the cooler nights. My true variable costs are international travel to the US and extra entertainment. I travel to the States about 3 to 4 times a year. Flights are generally around $500 to $600 round trip. This costs me an additional $2,000 to $2,400 a year, or on an average $167 to $200 per month. Entertainment, if I am treating myself, the most that I spend extra per month is about $75. This would include cocktails at a nice lounge with friends, which are about $5 to $10 a piece. The cost of a massage, which is about $20, and that includes the tip. If I go see a movie or a theater performance or a museum exhibit, and again, most of those are free or at very, very low cost. Also, what I'm not including in this cost is other leisure travel around Mexico and to other countries. I consider those vacation costs. So, if I include the travel to the States and any extra entertainment, my monthly expenses now equal $2,535 per month. This is slightly more than my last mortgage payment in Los Angeles. So, these are my expenses here in Mexico. Now, to see how I live in Guadalajara, check out my other videos. Hasta luego.